So ask yourself this question. What did you think of Brian Kelly's personality like 2 months ago? We're talking about before he came to LSU. I would have said, you know what? He's the red faced dude who comes off like he's on the brink of a heart attack. Brian Kelly's viral moments at Notre Dame were for things like, I don't know, saying that he was going to kill his team after the Florida State opener, which was supposed to be a play on this John McKay quote about execution. That's from 1976. Kelly had moments in which he'd be kind of short with the media, and he just sort of looked like the guy who was mostly closed off, that didn't really have a whole lot of personality. So fast forward to this past weekend when Kelly went viral not once, but twice for more dance moves that he was showing off. One was for learning the gritty, which has now become as synonymous with LSU as playing neck. And the other was for this commitment video, which everyone who is watching this video has seen by now. Danny Lewis, 2022 tight end, tweets out this video, and it's Kelly back on that 360 platform. But instead of calling Baton Rouge like he did with Walker Howard, the five-star quarterback, now he's dancing to Right Foot Creep by NBA Youngboy, who just so happens to be a Baton Rouge native. I'm not much into, current rap or anything like that. I'm more of a current country music guy myself, but I can at least accept the fact that the kids know who that is, and the kids are going to be all over that, especially the Baton Rouge angle. So you've seen that video and the reason that you know exactly what I'm talking about is because it's got 8.2 million views as of this recording. And remember, this is a 3-star recruit who had 2,100 followers on Twitter before this video went out. And at the time, this of course goes viral on TikTok, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about it. And at the time we see all these takes come out. Lane Kiffin decides he's going to troll Brian Kelly, which, all right, it's Lane. Lane can kind of do whatever at this point. He's got free reign to be able to call out people and do so in a playful way, and saying like he must have been hacked. And I saw others just basically copy and paste their tweets from the Walker Howard video and try to dunk on a 60-year-old man for dancing. And then I even saw the people who said, and like real actual blue check people come out and say, if I were the kid, I would not be down with this. By the way, the kid tweeted out the video. He tweeted it out. All right. I would not be down with this if I were the kid. I'm pretty sure the kid's down with it. I don't know, just a thought. For everyone saying that Brian Kelly is grinding on a kid, no, they're standing on a platform. And if you think that's what Urban Meyer was doing with that girl at the bar, you're wearing different glasses than I am. Just going to throw that out there. And hey, the difference between Urban and Kelly is that Kelly actually wants to be seen, and he's not trying to pretend like he's, somewhere that he shouldn't be. He knows that he's trying to go viral. Like Brian Kelly knows exactly what he's doing. At the same time, he's not trying to audition for the Jabberwockies or something like that. Some of y'all are breaking down the dude's dance moves like he's trying to become a professional breakdancer or something. And I'm just blown away with some of the takes we've seen. If you want to do a full breakdown of the Brian Kelly dancing, at least for the non-gritty video, the other video, look, I think that he stays within the guidelines of Hitch. This is where you live, right here. They don't need no pizza. They got food there. Kelly sneaking in like the hands across the eyes like that, that's what set off the cringe factor. But if you're saying like the kid, like he's grinding on the kid, I don't know. That's just, you're seeing what you want to see, in my opinion. You know who doesn't probably get 8.2 million views on Twitter, and get like all this circulation, get people like me talking about it? Like we're not sitting here talking about this if Brian Kelly just takes a picture with the kid and says, excited to have you on board. That's not how any of this works. This has now become Kelly's thing pretty clearly. And you could say, hey, coach blah, blah, blah isn't out here trying to dance, trying to get recruits. I'd say there's more than one way to skin a cat. I also don't know why we came up with that phrase. Like, I don't know who's out here skinning cats. That's a weird thing to do in your free time. I'm not sure why we say that instead of like, oh, there's more than one way to cook a steak, but that's different discussion for a different time. It's funny because when Saban does like the Cupid shuffle or when he turns his hat around at a post-game victory stage, we consume it in a much different way because Saban's got rings and he's doing this as somebody who has won so much. So we just kind of respect everything that he does. Mac Brown, when he busts out a post-game dance move or something like that in the huddle and Mac Brown's having a great time, we laugh and we're like, oh, hey, that's what a great time he's having. He's living his best life. It's great to see that he's kind of away from the Texas spotlight. He's not having to deal with all the minutia in Austin and all that stuff. But perspective and timing is everything with this stuff. Like Kelly isn't doing stuff like this if he's in the midst of a 4-8 season because he'd be getting blasted. Everybody would do that. Like that's just the nature of this business. He's got this unique window right now where he can tweak his image a bit before he ever coaches in a game. Remember that. And honestly, like that's not the worst thing in the world because this isn't exactly a guy who came to LSU with this unbelievable fun-loving, kind of do whatever he wants sort of reputation in the recruiting world. And I said this before with his awful attempt at a Southern accent. This is a guy who's trying to fit in, and he's trying. He's trying to stand out at the same time. He's trying to carve out his niche because he is kind of in enemy territory. And yeah, you could point to this recruit here, this recruit there, and say that Brian Kelly's been recruiting in the South, but at the same time, he knows what he's up against. This kind of reminds me a little bit of when Jim Harbaugh got to Michigan. Jim Harbaugh goes in there, he's taking his shirt off at satellite camps, he's sleeping over at kickers' houses, he's jumping into pools in full khaki. Harbaugh wanted to change his reputation in the recruiting world and not be known as the guy who got burnt out in the NFL. So he just started having fun with it. Kelly clearly wants to change his reputation in the recruiting world and not be known as the guy who got burnt out at Notre Dame. So clearly he's having fun with it. If it means getting made fun of a little bit, I think he's okay with that. I really do. LSU's recruiting department will sit there and cackle as millions of people see a harmless 16-second video with their new coach trying to become this fun version of himself. Like they're going to be totally okay with that because believe it or not, it's actually really hard to go viral for harmless content. A lot of people make it seem like it's the easiest thing in the world just because there are 14-year-olds on TikTok who can do it. And we don't know exactly how that algorithm works, but we've kind of become numb to that. We all think it's really easy when I actually think it's a lot tougher because of how much content there is out there. So you can keep looking at Brian Kelly like he's the drunk guy at the wedding. And in the event that his team is, I don't know, like 7-5 in year one, you know that he's going to get blasted for it and everybody's going to have fun with the videos and stuff. But that's all right for right now. He's laying the foundation. And whether you realize it or not, he's already changed what you think of him in the last 2 months.